If you're like me, you've grown up on Need for Speed your entire life. You've grown up on Need for Speed Underground 1 all the way up until Need for Speed Unbound. Albeit, it is probably one of my least favorite games in the franchise. More on that later. I've grown up on this franchise in particular, and it's been basically part of my life. And I have to say, man, I miss the old school Need for Speed. I really miss it, you know. What do I mean by that, right? If you were around back around 2002, 2005-ish, you guys should know a little small company, little small dev team, you know, named Blackbox, right? Blackbox was responsible for the PlayStation 2 port of Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 back then. And if you played that PlayStation 2 port back then, you would know who I'm talking about. Blackbox at that time, bro, from 2002 up until I think 2010-ish is when they shut down. They were just on a generational run with Need for Speed, bro. Like, they were dropping bangers after bangers, man. Like, if you play Blackbox games back then, bro, you understand what I'm talking about. They just dropped bangers after bangers, and they were so much fun to play. Like, have you ever heard of an indie dev team make a port of a game that does so well that the main company that they're working for decides to make them the lead development team for their next future titles? It has not happened in the last 20 or so years, man. EA caught lightning in a bottle with Blackbox, and holy shit, they were on a generational run, man. Like, from 2002 to 2010, bro, like, there was just nothing but bangers, you know. Hot Pursuit 2, Need for Speed Underground 1 and 2, fucking, who doesn't know about Need for Speed Most Wanted in 2005, man? Such a cult classic. This game came out 20 fucking years ago, bro. Let that shit sink in, bro. Like, I was 3 when this shit came out. I fell in love with BMWs, like, specifically the M3 GTRs and shit, bro, and the M3 E46, specifically that model, because of Need for Speed Most Wanted. Like, I can sit here and talk about Most Wanted for an entire video if I want to, but bro, Most Wanted was the game, bro. Like, if you were to sit down and think about what makes Need for Speed, bro, if you've been a fan for years, Most Wanted was definitely one of, if not at least a top 3 or top 5 in your list, bro. Like, that game fully defines what Need for Speed is and what people love about it, bro. I don't know who's aware of it, but like, I'm pretty sure like a couple months ago, actually, you know, I think back in like 2024, there was I guess like a little car event in Germany. I don't know if it was Germany or somewhere in the EU, right? But tell me why BMW, they decided to take their M3 GTR race car and then they turned it into the actual real life replica of the Most Wanted car. That was the sickest shit I have ever seen, ever, bro. Like, I wish I could have gone to go see it in person, but bro, when I saw the pictures on Twitter and Instagram of like the actual real life replica of the Most Wanted car, bro, I was so fucking excited. I was so geeked out, bro. I'm being dead ass with you, bro. That's how much Most Wanted 2005 had everybody in a chokehold, bro. Because 20 years later, bro, BMW does shit like this, bro, and it just fucking blows up. It's specifically because of the M3 GTR, bro. Like, that car is legendary in its own merit, but it being the mascot for Most Wanted at the time was probably one of the best decisions they ever could have done. Carbon was pretty good too. For the most part, it was okay. It was decent. Not the same highs as Most Wanted. I think they've done a pretty decent job from like time they were operating up until 2010 when they shut down. I miss those Need for Speed games. I miss the old Blackbox era, bro. I miss when they had a soul, bro. When you can play any Need for Speed game and you were guaranteed to have a fun time. It was just so fun. It's like now, honestly, since like 2015, it's been kind of like lackluster. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I liked 2015 for what it was. You know, I liked the atmosphere. It was pretty nice. It really captured the essence of underground racing and nighttime racing. It was pretty cool. That's basically our Underground 3. I'm just gonna say it, bro. That's Underground 3 right there. Rivals was okay. I don't know how I feel about Need for Speed Rivals. I'm still kind of iffy about it. It was fun in the sense that it was challenging, but you know, it's kind of meh, to be honest. But other than that, I probably wouldn't play it as much. Hell, even like Need for Speed 2012, bro, as controversial as that game was at the time, it was still pretty fun. It was actually a pretty decent game, you know, for the most part. I actually enjoyed. I think I played that more than anything else, mainly just because like the police chases were pretty fun. Between like the last 2-3 games that came out, I think honestly, Heat was probably the best one. Need for Speed Heat was probably like my favorite one so far out of this current generation. And it kind of sucks that they've stopped supporting the game after a year. I don't know why they did that. I know why they did it, because they needed all hands on decks on Battlefield 2042. But even then, that game was a dumpster fire as itself. And fast forward, we have Need for Speed Unbound. And I'm being honest, I don't like Unbound. Like, I just can't get into it. Like, something about it, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the gameplay or the art style, just entirely, I just can't get into it. I really just miss old Need for Speed. I miss when Need for Speed was actually passionate and cared about their projects and their products. I love Pro Street for the fact that the overall vibe of a festival in this game is just unmatched, bro. Like, in terms of like festival racing, like Forza Horizon 1 and Need for Speed Pro Street, they are really good at capturing the essence of a festival race, bro. Just car events and just overall just car festivals, bro. Pro Street really captures the essence of that, bro. It's really fun. I personally think Pro Street is just an underrated gem, bro. If you haven't played it yet, I suggest you guys go and find yourself a copy. Very, very fun, man. The sense of speed in that game is pretty fun too. It's pretty cool. I just really wish EA went back to their old ways, bro. I wish EA actually cared about the quality of their products, opposed to trying to maximize profits for shareholders and maximizing microtransaction profits, and went back to just making good games, bro. Because if your game's good, it's gonna sell more than you selling me a mediocre shit game with microtransactions. I'm sorry. How many games and game studios have shut down because their games are just absolutely subpar or just dog shit in general? Doesn't matter how many microtransactions and cosmetics you shove into it, bro. If your game's dog shit, nobody's gonna play it. I miss Blackbox, man. I hate that they shut them down in like 2010 after the run came out, which, albeit it was okay for the most part, it was still Blackbox, bro. Like, anytime you play a Blackbox game, you knew you're gonna get experience. You're gonna get something. Honestly, like, Criterion is okay. I'm not necessarily a big fan of Criterion. They had some decent games. Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012 was okay. Despite the controversy. Hot Pursuit for 2010 was actually pretty decent. That was pretty fun. They were doing okay with Unbound and stuff like that, but again, I'm not a big fan of Criterion like that. Honestly, Ghost Games had a lot more potential than Criterion, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I would argue and say that, like, Ghost Games had a better run than Criterion. Like, from Rivals up until Heat, like, honestly, between like Heat and 2015, those are probably like their best games in the franchise. I think Heat was probably one of the best games that came out, because I was actually excited for Heat, and it sucks that they stopped development after a year. I definitely feel like the game could have been way better, like, if it had another year or two of support. Me personally, I just think Unbound is not that great. Allow A$AP Rocky's in the game, I give two shits about that dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. He adds nothing to the story anyway. I don't even think he's part of the story to begin with. Like, I don't know why they bother marketing this game as if A$AP Rocky is going to be one of the main characters in the game. That was so fucking stupid. Not to mention that I just hate the art style of the game. The cel shading characters with the realistic cars kind of throws me off. In a realistic world, it makes no fucking sense. Unbound is not for me, unfortunately. But man, I just miss the old times. Back when EA actually cared about their products, and back when Blackbox was still around, delivering nothing but bangers. And like, whenever you saw EA and Blackbox teaming up together, bro, you just knew it was gonna be a banger. Not just Need for Speed, bro, but like, they made Skate, bro. Skate 1, 2, and 3, like, one of the best skating games ever. So like, it was dumb for EA to just completely shut down Blackbox, bro. Like, one of the biggest fumbles in the last decade. Such a shame.